Okay. Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is my first video post, so I'm gonna be a little choppy and ad-libby, but on the spare of the on the spare of the moment, I do have a rough subject to mention, just for the hell of it, and maybe a thing or two, to show and tell. Just about everyone I know who is health conscious or bored enough to closely examine the ingredients list of common food labels has at one time or another wondered what the mysterious natural flavors was. And because it's inevitable that you or one of your friends is also going to raise an eyebrow to this one day, I've taken the liberty of introducing the exact definition of natural flavorings as stated word per word by Title 21, Section 101, Part 22 of the Code of Federal Regulations. It goes as follows. The term natural flavor or natural flavoring means the essential oils, olis, alizarin, okay, essence of extract, protein, hydrolysate, distillate, or any product of roasting, heating, or enzymolysis, which contains a flavoring constituents derived from a spice, fruit or fruit juice, vegetable or vegetable juice, edible yeast, herb, bark, bud, root, leaf, or similar plant material, meat, seafood, poultry, eggs, dairy products, or fermentation products thereof, whose significant function in food is flavoring rather than nutrition. In other words, natural flavorings can pretty much be anything approved for use in food, and no producer, distributor of food is truly obligated to disclose the exacting details of what you're putting into your body, so long as it is, in and of itself, calorically inactive and not recognized as one of the leading food allergens. Forget the Saw movies, forget Friday the 13th, forget the Elm Streets and all that other good stuff. Uh, by far the scariest horror film a person could ever see would definitely be a big screen documentary elaborating on this cold, ominous truth without fact. Uh, Move over, Stephen King. The FDA is in town. So, not that I really thought that was clever, but yeah, well, I thought it was clever, but I know nobody else is going to. So, yeah, you don't have to point that out. Um, I do stuff with ants. I raise ants. Most people think that an ant farm is essentially just a bunch of worker ants digging sand inside of your two sheets of glass or something. Well, yeah, that is an ant farm, but that's not really an ant colony. If you're gonna raise a colony, it's gotta have the queen in it, the brood or larvae or pupa, whatever you want to call them, as well as the worker ants and of course the classes thereof. If the species you're working with has multiple classes. And it's a little bit harder than you think. You actually have to give them the right moisture content. You have to give them the right food, da 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 da, because it's an actual organism within itself. A superorganism is actually what these are called. When you have the entire colony on top, and just a few worker ants inside of an ant farm is just basically like cutting the limb off of some animal. It's going to be alive for a few minutes, but then it's going to die. So here you essentially have the whole animal, and I actually designed this myself. Formicariums have been around for years, but this is a formicarium cell, so it's the most ergonomic design. It incorporates the maximum amount of space within the tiniest amount of area. Um, yeah, this is it right here. So this right here is a humidity gauge. I forget the exact term for them, but you can pick them up in a PetSmart or Petco or anything like that. And this right here, this material is plaster of Paris, which is moisture conductive. It will actually soak up water. It'll evaporate after a time, but you can wrap it up in plastic wrap or something like that, and it's all good. The front part's going to have plexiglass on it, and with bolts kind of going out to the sides and the corners and such all the way down. And right here, nuts can go in, nuts can go out, and as the column grows, you can have this clear tubing, I believe that's called vinyl tubing, and you can add another one of these underneath. So as the colony grows, you can add more, you can take them away if you need to at some point in time. but you can also mount these on the wall or some fashion like that. So they're really not taking up any space; they're just kind of out of the way. And I have this humidity gauge here because as you add moisture in there, you're going to need to pay attention to that to keep it between somewhere between moderate to tropical. And if you have multiple cells, you could have one that's moderate, one that's tropical, or one that's desert. Um, that way, if your ants are very fussy about where they want to put their food, where they want to put their larvae, where they just want to hang out themselves, they'll have multiple cells where they can go and fussy like that with. Because moisture content, a lot of ants are really particular about where they station, what they have, what chambers, or rooms in their underground world. They're designated for what based on the kind of moisture that's in there, things of that nature, and airflow and that sort of thing. So that's what I got. I have two queens that have already founded members of a colony, and four more queens that are more or less starting out. Haven't really, they have larvae in various stages, and the ant that I'm using is called Pogonomyrmex ergosus. I just like saying it. It's a big word, but it rolls right off the tongue. And it doesn't look like it when you write it down. It's a very smooth word. Make love to that word, and I have. So, yeah, it's actually a red harvester ant is what it's called in layman terms, or like the big red ant, that sort of thing, or the rough harvester ant also. It's that big red ant that you find around here that runs around in the desert. It's just basically that. There's four different kinds, but Pogonomyrmex is the main name, and then Ergosus, Myricopus, and some other couple other things. Barbados maybe. I think it was something else. Anywho, that's pretty much it. So, wish I had more to talk about, but if this was too long, I don't think anybody would care. And frankly, I don't think very many people are going to care in the first place. But yeah, thank you for watching if you've stuck around this far.